A palliative nurse who took care of dying patients in the last few months of their lives recorded their epiphanies and most common regrets as they neared the end of their time. For those of us lucky enough to have coasted along in life without having to confront issues like failing health, we all, including myself definitely, we tend to live taking our mortality, the time we have in our lives, so much for granted. This year, as I watched someone close to my heart succumbing inexorably to illness, I can't stop thinking about life and how often we really have so much choice but choose to relinquish our control over our happiness and our time. Learning the common biggest regrets of the dying had a huge impact on me, so I want to share them with you today. Regret number 5. I wish that I had let myself be happier. I mean, isn't there that common saying, happiness is a choice, not a result? It won't come to you, it can only come from you. I don't know about you, but sometimes I lose sight of the bigger picture too, and I get stuck in this negative loop whereby I keep thinking, oh, let's solve this first, let's get rid of that stress, let's finish this project, and then I'll be happy. But as we all know, there's always going to be something. Let's not forget that it's always a choice as to whether we let whatever we're facing at the moment hold us down. We can always just choose to be happy right now, in our present moment, whilst we're doing whatever it is that we're doing. Regret number 4. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. These days, we're also obsessed with achievement and accomplishing amazing things every other day. It's become such a struggle to just sit present in the moment and appreciate what we have in the now. These days, we're all busy. Kids, making money, keeping fit, keeping up with the trends. And in all that busyness, it is so common to let our important friendships slip. Nearing the end though, all that fluff about life, it just falls away. And clearly then we see that what's important is no longer money or status or your track record. For most people, it all comes down to love and relationships in the end. Regret number 3. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. So often we bottle things up inside, or we simply suppress what we really want to say, or even who we really are deep down inside. Sometimes it's because we want to keep the peace, or maybe we're afraid of losing something or someone through their honesty. I've definitely done this before, but really it just made my life this tiring facade that eventually I gave up on completely anyway. People may react when you pluck up the courage to be honest, and we're just going to have to accept that that is always going to be outside of our control. But perhaps it's worth the effort to go through that and see if you can raise the relationship to a healthier, more genuine level. Either that, or perhaps it's ultimately a toxic relationship that you might consider releasing from your life, because we all deserve to be loved as we truly are. Regret number 2. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Apparently, this was a regret nursed by every breadwinner, male or female, encountered by the palliative nurse. They regretted missing their children growing up and the companionship of their families. They deeply wished they hadn't spent so much of their lives just running the treadmill of work. And I bet this resonates so much with every person out there watching this. Do we really need the income that we think we do right now? Or could we perhaps simplify our lives, be more conscious about how we spend, and perhaps cut back on work to have more time for the truly important stuff? And finally, regret number 1. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expect of me. This was the most common regret of all. Hindsight is always 20/20, they say. Looking back when the end is near, I ache for how often people regret how they had not honored their dreams, sometimes by pretending they were content with the way things were, or perhaps unconsciously they wasted the time they had until it's too late. When we're nearing the end, what others think of us is probably going to be a very long way from our minds. I think it is so important to try and honor at least some of our dreams and our inner truths as we live right now. From the moment that we lose our health, it is probably too late. So with these regrets in mind, here's what I think is worth remembering today. Number 1, let your loved ones know you love them. No one is promised tomorrow, so call, text, hold their hand and tell them. Number 2, in turn, open your eyes to how you are loved by all the people around you. Don't take it all for granted. Number 3, take some risk. Always playing it safe means a life unlived. Try thinking about life as a series of experiments and experiences that help us to learn about the world and also about ourselves and who we are inside. Number 4, stop killing yourself over what should have been. Reframe your failures and your errors as learning opportunities and insights. Number 5, be yourself today. Look inside you, embrace what's there, and let's be open about our truths. When we deny any little part of our authentic self, we also die a little on the inside. Number 6, participate in the life around you rather than just being an observer. I think about all the people I know that missed out on so many experiences in life simply because there's always something, it's too hot, it's too sweaty, it's too crazy, too difficult, too tiring, too dirty. And they'd rather just sit in a corner playing their smartphones, stay on the sidelines instead of actually experiencing stuff for real. Like getting stuck in the mud, feeling the adrenaline from the sport, the actual high of the adventure. Moving outside our comfort zones thrusts us into more gratifying, fuller lives. Number 7, be kind. Make someone else's day and your own a little brighter today. And number 8, take everything a little less seriously. Life's too short. Do your best in your endeavors and then don't waste time worrying about the stuff beyond your control. Whenever I think of my loved one who's slowly fading away now, my heart aches so much for her. I wish so much that in her prime she had lived more, enjoyed herself more, cherished herself and her happiness more. Health bestows upon us a freedom that very few of us cherish until we no longer have it. Thank you so much for watching. I wish for you and your loved ones all the very best of health and a well-lived life with little regrets.